first grade. I'm out today, so I thought I'd record a little video to teach you a little bit about something called point of view today. If you've never heard of it, that's okay. That's why it's brand new today. So here's what I want you to think. I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I'm going to challenge you to think of ways that you haven't thought of before. So what I want you to think of is a point of view is how you see something. So if you're thinking from a point of view, let's call it kid point of view. You see kid point of view from the moment that you open your eyes until the moment that you close them at night. So you see it all the time. So I want you to imagine first that you are a kid, which is easy, and you are walking into school, and you just happen to stop and stand beside a car in the parking lot. So from kid point of view, I want to know, what can you see? What are some of the things you can see from where you're standing? And I want your guest teacher to pause this video right now and have a class discussion and get some ideas about what kind of things can you see from kid point of view if you're looking at a car. Ready, set, pause. I hope you had some good ideas. I'll bet you did. All right, now that we've thought about the ones that are from kid point of view, now we're going to change things up. We're going to call the next one kitty cat. And I want you to think about being a kitty cat in the same place you were standing before. You're still looking at the car, but now you're at kitty cat point of view. So you've changed where you're looking from. And how does it change what you see in the car? When you had kid point of view, you could see some different things. So when you're a kitty cat, how does that change what you see? So I want your guest teacher to pause this video, and you're going to have a class discussion, and we're going to come up with some ideas about what does it look like from kitty cat point of view. Ready, set, pause. All right, guys, I hope you had some good discussions. I'll bet you came up with some good ideas, like the underneath of a car, or like the license plate looks like it's the roof because it's so far above you now. So now we're going to challenge you. We're going to go from kid point of view, and instead of going down, we're going to go up. So we're going to call this next one giraffe. And I want you to think of giraffe point of view. So think of yourself as a very, very tall giraffe and see what is going to change. What do you see about the car that's going to be a little bit different? I'll bet it looks a lot different from where you're standing. So pause this video, guest teacher, and I want you to have a class discussion about what kind of ideas do you think of, what has changed from kitty cat point of views to giraffe point of view. What can you see that's different about the car? So ready, 1, 2, 3, pause. Welcome back. All right, I bet you guys had some great ideas. I love hearing how you guys can think between kitty cat and kid and giraffe. And those are really important because point of views aren't just how you see, it's sometimes how you think. So if you had a book and that book was told, the story was told by the dog in the family, that would be a much different point of view than if that same story was told by the grandfather, the grumpy grandpa in the story. So those different kinds of things can change the point of view too, depending on who you are and how you look at things. So our next art class is actually going to have a project where we're looking at giraffe point of view from our project. So you're actually going to have a project that actually does giraffe view. And since we have snow coming up in the forecast soon, it's going to get cold out, what we're going to do is we're going to think about, okay, we thought about a car. Now we're going to look at a snowman from a giraffe point of view. So I'm going to switch over to Ladybug because, believe it or not, I can do that. I'm on my computer. See, there's my mouse. Aha! I'm going to switch to my Ladybug, so hang on just a second. There she is. All right, so now you guys see my piece of paper and my pencil. And this is called an oil pastel. Let me tell you about that in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to think about, what does a giraffe see? What's the first thing a giraffe would see from giraffe point of view? Well, the first thing I would see if I was that giraffe is the hat. So I might see the top hat and the top of the hat, maybe the little ribbon around the outside. This would be the dark rim of the hat. And I might have the middle of the hat right here in the middle. Right here, this will be the very tippy top of the hat right here. And then the next thing I would see probably would be the nose, but I can't put a nose without a face. So I'm going to draw the head of the snowman. And then I would have his nose right in here, and then his eyes. I might not even be able to see his mouth because his nose would probably get in the way. So I can't see his mouth. So the next thing that the giraffe might see is his body, his middle, the middle ball. Maybe a scarf would be in there, so maybe I'd see just a little bump of the scarf. Not too much because it's covering, the head is covering it for the most part. Maybe I'd see a tail from the scarf, the little tail end of the scarf where we tie it down. There's that. So we'd also have the arms on this layer. So we'd have arms on this layer that the giraffe would see. And then we'd have the big ball on the bottom. Looks a lot different than your normal snowman, doesn't it? So when you're thinking about giraffe point of view, you're actually going to have a snowman that looks like this. So hang on just 1 second and let me grab it. So when we're all done with your project, you're actually going to have a project that looks like this. So your project is going to be a pop-up snowman. I'm going to teach you how to make him a pop-up snowman, but right now your job today is to get your snowballs done because we're going to start putting together the pieces later. We got to get our pieces ready first. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to introduce you to my oil pastel. You guys, I think we've used these before, but if you haven't, there's one really, really great thing about oil pastels and there's one really, really, really bad thing about oil pastels. The really, really bad thing about oil pastels is that they smear a lot. And the really, really, really good thing about oil pastels is that they smear a lot. It just depends on if you know how to use it. So if you don't, or if you don't know that they do that, it can make a big mess. But if you know that they do that and you know how to make it work and you know how to do the trick, you can actually make it work for you. And that's a really, really good thing that happens. So we need to make balls. Right now these are flat circles. So they're flat, they don't look like they're popped up like a ball. They're just flat circles. So these are circles. We need to make a 3D ball. That shape is called a sphere. And in order to make a sphere, we need to have shadows to show that the ball is round, like we could grab it and hold it in our hand. So what we need to do is put a shadow on it. Now this is where the smearing comes in. I'm going to take my oil pastel, my blue one, and I'm going to go and make a circle around the outside. And you're going to say, Miss Eckstein, that doesn't look like a shadow. That just looks like a line. Well, watch this. You're going to take your little smudge stick, also known as a finger, and you're going to take this and you're going to smear it. So I'm just going to go back and forth, and 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 back and forth. And it's actually going to make it look, even though there's not one, make it look, if I'm pressing hard enough and I'm scrubbing it well enough, like a shadow around the ball. So all of a sudden, it's starting to look like a round snowball instead of a flat circle. So you're going to do all 3 of these. And I'll just do this outline of one so I'm ready to go. But you're going to take your finger and don't do this across it. If you do this across it, it's going to color the whole ball blue. And then it's going to look like this really weird plastic circle. We don't want that. We want it to look like snow. So you're just going to go around the outside like this. Just follow the outline. If you get a little bit of a hard line, maybe take your finger and try to smear it a little bit more. But it's okay. It's going to look like a lumpy, bumpy snowball. And snowballs are lumpy and bumpy, so that's okay. So you'll wash your finger after you're all done. And then you're going to want to make sure that you take a pair of scissors and cut out your snowballs. And you're also going to have for you a plastic bag and a Sharpie. So make sure that you use your brown Sharpie to write your name on the plastic bag. Put all 3 of your snowballs into your plastic bag and then put them in your yellow box. So I will see you the next time I come in, and make sure you treat your guest teacher well. We'll see you guys later. Have a good art class. Stop recording.